Yeah,
that's a bad week.
Oh yeah, a bad way to end a bad week. Not a good way, not on a high note, but on a really extremely low note, perhaps the lowest you could go. And what happened here was not a good way. She threatened suicide publicly on Twitter.
Oof.
Yep. And it was over.
All right, here, somebody said that there were what was it? Like friends were being cold, or was
friends
it people on Twitter were being cold?
No, friends were being cold. Friends were being cold. People who she looked up to, people who call themselves her allies. She had made a tweet, something about how voting doesn't work. So she's probably already miserable when she said that. She said, voting doesn't work, we need to do something else. And, well, something else being probably violent revolution. And now that's a silly thing to suggest, but it's very clear from her mindset, given that she's running for Congress. Yeah, she's running for Congress. That
running for Congress?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. That's probably not working.
Right, it's not working. And so she was depressed, obviously, and I think if they were her friends, they should have seen this. They should have sent her some DM, happy self, saying something really, really dark. What's up? Let's talk. You know, that's what a good friend would have done. But instead, they dogpiled her. They said, hey, this is not helpful. You can't be saying this. What's wrong with you? I can't agree with you. I have to publicly disagree with you and virtue signal to the world about how much better I am as a person to you. And these are the people she thought were her friends. And so that was someone she had quote tweeted, one of the many people on her side who didn't like what she was saying. And then, well, the next picture was her trying to commit suicide.
Was that all right? I don't know if anybody said, but that's an authentic picture, I assume.
Yeah, it's authentic. Yes, there's an archive of it.
Oof.
Yeah.
All the people she talked to just look at her as a thing to be used. You know, that's terrible.
Exactly.
Like I wonder, like you're on that ledge. Why do you take a picture? Why do you do it? Like I wonder if it's a cry for attention.
It is a cry for attention.
Kind of the main thing.
It's also a cry for help. It's also a cry for help because
I believe that.
I think she was waiting to see who would send her any messages, if anybody cared, the people she called her friends, right? The people who maybe behind the scenes are her friends, but publicly they are on different sides. And yeah, she's friends with Cassandra Fairbanks, who, as everybody knows, is a right-winger, someone who she would oppose politically, but she was, you know, Cassandra gave a shit. People like Cassandra gave a shit. They're the people who reached out to her.
Oh, isn't that strange?
Mm-hmm. Well, there you
America
go.
nowadays.
Yeah,
Loves are just predators nowadays. It's terrible. It's amazing how in 20 years, how so much changed. I mean, 20 years ago, you know, there were aggressive people on both sides, but the left would intentionally be there, or people that are left leaning to help. And now everything, including like free speech and just basically human rights and just treating people with equality, that seems to have been pushed to the right for, you know, subjective justice warriors. You know, everything is just subjective and predatory, and you have to use people as props.
Exactly.
It's disgusting to see. I mean, I would like to see more balance between people on the left and the right actually treating human beings like human beings, but that's a fantasy. It seems like that's just.
They do exist, but their voices are not elevated. They're not given any platforms.
Not boosted.
It's usually the crazy people who are given platforms. The crazy people are the ones writing all these crazy articles, going on, you know, tirades, putting up speeches, being hosted at colleges. And so when they have a reasonable person, someone like C.H. Summers, for example, or Jordan Peterson, speaking reason and calm, they demonize them. They say, you're a Nazi because you're urging calm towards the other side. And we can't have that. We have to punch all the Nazis, right?
Right. Use violence as silence, you know, but that's not fascist.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking fools. It's backfiring on them, except in the UK. But
it's always different in the fucking UK.
Yeah, different. Goddamn, these fucking cowards.
Cowards, mostly. Not all of them, but
not all of them.
Yeah. We can start fucking with the UK in a sec, but the person who told me about this story originally, they were explaining all this stuff, and they sent me a message a little bit ago. I'm not saying who. I don't know if they want like the name out there or whatever, but their thoughts on it is just, you know, this person's running for office. How in the fuck are they supposed to? How the fuck are they supposed to run for government office when you have this kind of, you know, post out there? People think that this is the kind of thing you do.
It's a thing they're trying to shove into a chair, not a person, like a thing.
A thing, yeah. They're treating her like an object. I'm sure she didn't get that idea on her own. I think people around her propped her up and said, hey, you should run for Congress. We'll support you. We'll back you. You need to do this because you're the loudest among us. You're the one with all the cameras on her. Everybody's looking at you, so we're looking at you. You have to step up and, reclaim your birthright. Well, if that was like a video game or something.
It's fucking... Yeah. And it doesn't look good. There's plenty of people who've had worse goes trying to do that kind of thing, but it's not that much worse.
Nope.
Not that much worse. Dude, I don't know. Everybody saw it kind of in like all the posts get taken down, and the last post that's up is, hey, Chelsea's with friends now, but that was the original problem, is that friends weren't being very fucking friendly.
That's right.
So
like handlers, like she's an animal.
Yeah, I guess it's a fucking toss up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking it's a fucking toss up. What is that good? All right, maybe time for hospital visit, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the people around you have kind of pushed you towards suicide because they're so mean and you're so depressed. Maybe they're not the best support group.
Definitely not.
It's going to be a reoccurring problem. Yeah, maybe you should cut them off.
And she should probably cut off the people that she's trying to pander to, because she tries to pander to the left-wing journalists all the time. Yeah. And so when they found out that she was friends with Cassandra Fairbanks and a bunch of other people on the right side, they lambasted her. They start writing articles about how she might be a traitor to the cause. You can't trust her. All these things, right? They're nasty things. So what if she's friends with somebody? So what? Like, I don't agree with her politics, but to demonize her like that, really?
It's like a cult. Talking to the outsiders,
A little bit. But past that, you look at somebody in this position, and what makes people go the suicide route? What are the statistics? Okay, well, PTSD, fucking being transgender it's got a high suicide rate on it. I mean, just the stats are not working.
No.
Chelsea Manning's favor.
Not in her favor, yeah. Especially with those two things combined. She was put in solitary for months on end. That's no contact, no human contact, nothing. No books to read, nothing.
Nothing.
Just a cell. A small cell. Can't even move.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how people can just be like, okay, well, now it's with friends. I'd probably get the social media away. Put somebody over into the fucking, get them some help away from social. It's not helping. Sitting there and playing with social media and all that shit on the perpetual and it's not helping.
It makes people crack. You see it all the time.
Yeah. This is not the place for this person.
You can see a Spoonie crack doing it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just move it to the side. It's yeah. But yeah. Oof. I can't. It's not very many ways to be nice about it. There's just not really a place on social media where this person's going to feel good. There's no place on social media that's going to help this person.
Absolutely
this person doesn't need to be there.
I posted a message of condolences. I said, thank you for posting this. Thanks for being there for her in like the last tweet. And my replies are full of cancer, right? And it's mostly SJWs getting mad at the fact that I'm the one saying it.
Yeah. You're showing empathy. How dare you? We care about people, but you're showing empathy? Fuck.
Yeah. So many of them, they're like, fuck off, Ian. Don't want you here. Oh, okay, cool.
Those are her friends. Fuck off. Yeah.
Or the people who call themselves her friends. Yeah.
We own her. Fuck off. Yeah.
There are a lot of these people who did a lot of leaks, like all at once. Like Julian Assange put out some leaks and shit like that. So it's not necessarily the same thing, but like Edward Snowden, Manning, all this shit. I'm not sure on all of them. But like there's a lot of gray area to some of this shit.
They're all gray area characters. Yeah. I mean, they got it.
None of them are altruistic. I mean, they can hide behind a bit of it, but none of them are. None of them completely.
What was the case with Manning? Because I get them confused, and I'll say the wrong one did the wrong thing or whatever.
She took all the DoD secret files and stuff and gave them to WikiLeaks to release, and WikiLeaks released it. But Manning got caught because Manning didn't cover her tracks. Manning, to my knowledge, is an idealist.
What was that? What were the things that were in these leaks in particular?
Secret operations, diplomatic cables. I think she was the one who actually released the diplomatic cables.
Okay, so names of people who maybe didn't need the names out.
Correct. Yes, spies.
Okay, so all right, that's not good.
And because
this may have been the one that I was kind of on the fence for.
Yep. Like the diplomatic cables, not a good idea to release because you're essentially, we're talking about Americans in the DoD talking to embassies all across the world, telling them how to deal with local insurgents, things like that, and that's what she released. That's bad. That's intel that the enemies can use. Yeah. So I don't support what she did. I don't support her leaks. I support Snowden's leaks because Snowden.
See, that's what I was saying. I will get all these people mixed up sometimes when I'm talking about them. But yeah, Snowden was the one who did the stuff with the NSA, and Manning was the one who put out some names that didn't need to be fucking named.
Yep.
Yes.
What was gained from what
she
leaks? did? Yeah. What was the
nothing
big
to my
gain?
knowledge? Yeah,
nothing from her.
Yeah.
So just leaked spies' names?
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, that's not good.
No, I think one of the things, maybe only one of the things that she released that was actually, of the public interest was a cover-up that the military had done. It was in Iraq, I think, and an Apache helicopter had shot an ambulance that was rescuing insurgents. And they're not supposed to attack unarmed, ambulances, but of course, in reality, those guys in the ambulance, they're also insurgents, right? They just don't carry guns. But the helicopter opened fire on them, and that was covered up. So that was an issue. But I mean, that's small, like compared to the stuff that all the other things that she leaked out. That's really not worth it. If that was the only thing she released, I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine with that. But everything else, not a good idea. She destabilized the world. She made the world a less safe place because she released all these documents. I can't say the same about Edward Snowden, who, for all intents and purposes, was just telling the world that the NSA is wiretapping everybody without their consent. That's an issue.
If I can talk about that briefly, I'm not going to explain too much of my background, but with the Manning, the issue with her is that she compromised an entire compartment of intel. An entire compartment. All intel is compartmentalized, all of it. And she compromised an entire segment. Not a very large segment, but she destroyed an entire segment. And I don't want to dogpile on her because she is an idealist. I think she's not doing anything for malice. So that was a big mistake on her part, and I think she kind of knows, but whatever. With Snowden...
Okay, go ahead.
As I was about to say, with Snowden, what I liked about him is that... I'm going to watch what I say, but... You might be talking about what I've been saying for years leading up to that was that people didn't believe that all your software, like there were backdoors to it for the NSA, and that the NSA really did have wiretaps on anything, but there was no oversight because it really is kind of a new concept of security. And he exposed that yes, they are tapping everything, period. And the second problem that I still have is that you have the security agency like the NSA, and they have people there that work, they have agents, but then you have to contract out to so many different people, and there's almost no oversight on all these contractors that have access to all these top secret files. Like the background checks are jokes. The SSBI to the SCI ones, they're almost like jokes. They're just trying to get people into the door. And what he exposed was, I'm just a contractor here. I got access to all of these files. Maybe you should do a better job with your background checks on the people you give access to these top secret files. And there was a little bit of a signal boost with that, but it really hasn't helped too much. Yet it's still out there. You can still say Snowden, let's get better with security leaks, because you can decide to work for one of these companies as a contractor, and maybe about 2-3 weeks later, after a background check, you can have access to the same files. It's still a major problem. That kind of gets overlooked because people just keep saying he released these files. We're like, he shouldn't have had access to them. There was no one watching it. They gave him a VPN so other people could get to. Okay, but what about him?
If there was nothing gained from this shit, then I don't understand.
The Manning thing.
The goal. Like nothing's gained but people's names who could be compromised in the field and end up dead. All you're doing is compromising people's safety. And fuck off.
Destroyed like physical communication pipelines. Like you actually couldn't communicate with people through like physical lines set up. They had to rebuild things physically, like network connections, because you know that these people were talking, and you kind of knew where they were at those point in time. Anyone could trace how they were talking, and just literally get to the cabling. So they had to get rid of that. They had to get rid of so much shit, so much infrastructure, just arbitrarily. But you have to be safe. She made a mistake though.
They fucked it up.
Yeah, she made a mistake. Snowden was a different thing, but I don't put him in the same category.
I don't know. If nothing was gained, then I don't know. The leaks, I don't know. Probably not the most necessary thing in the world.
People just like saying leaks, like they leak government secrets, like all of them are bad.
Yeah, not necessarily every government secret needs to come out when
they don't need to be leaked.
They can be working in your certain
things. It's not the best way to go.
What if someone leaked the nuclear codes? Would that be a good thing?
Yeah, that's probably not a good thing.
Looking at Fallout. Part of Fallout, the game Fallout games that no one plays because there's no fun,
Yeah. All right, real quick. I'm gonna jump and I miss like all these because totally not on my fucking channel. But Outlaw Bear Dog threw up 2 and said I stand with Redman. Worst Edomite threw up 2 and said what is happening. Brian Reck, he threw up 2. Good fucking morning, Tonka and fam. Down forward punch for 5 says happy days, bitches. Fuckwad for 2 says chat go boom. Mouthy Mama for 2 says I will forever be a Tonka and Vamp fangirl. A new sponsor, Angel Zones. Enjoy emojis. Disky Fringo for 5 says Tonka, take my wrench away while you have the power. I have no power here. No power here to give or take wrenches. It is not on me. I just get to exist over here.
Like a shoe on head, armor skeptic thing is up reverse now?
And it seems inverse as far as the channel goes. Very, very subjugated as far as the leash channel goes. I'm merely in syndication, guys. That's all that's happening.
You're in syndication. Yeah, that's why on multiple different channels. That's how syndicated content works.
Mike throws up 2 and says, what's up, guys? Glad to see you back, Tonka. I appreciate it. Optic Decay for 2 says, welcome back, Tonka. I'll send you an outline later. Of course he will. Cool Dog for 2 says, the champ is here. Appreciate it. American Gadfly for 5. Glad you're still streaming. During Vam's chat, we all determined you and Failure will make up. You're the Ross and Rachel of YouTube now. That is the gayest thing since Gay came to Gay Town.
You're his lobster.
He needs to calm right down. You know what I'm saying? He's calm right down over there. Sassy says for 2 says, welcome back, Tonka. Glad you're still doing a show. Appreciate it. Tom from MySpace for €5. Some of that dim euro money. See, this money isn't allowed to say certain things. So it's, of course, going to be a tame message. Tonka and Failure, still a better love story than Twilight. See, of course, got to be tame but gay. Andrew
so gay. That's so gay. Oh no, the Atlantic's gonna write an article about you.
Okay, let them. That was so sad.
But no one will read it. So you got that going.
Yeah, no one's gonna read it. People just gonna replies to it.
Yeah, the guy from H3H3 was fucking dunking on them pretty fucking hard.
Dunked on them hard. Yeah. And she was, trying to be nice because she realized, oh shit, the big boy's here.
Well, no, once replies start getting more likes than what you posted, you're fucked.
You're quoted, you're ratioed. Sorry, not quoted. Ratioed.
Yeah, you're getting got. Andrew Rattel for 5 says, proud of you for being the bigger man, Tonka. Long live the Kumite. Worst Edomite ever for 2 says, good morning, chat fam. Glad to see you all again. Alex the Southerner for 2 says, glad there's still a show. Hope it goes well. It's going. J. Alfred Perkroat for 2 says, not to be mean, but best to move along, fellas. Well, fucking, we moved to this. Fucking, the fucking Chelsea Reddick thing is miserable shit. It's the miserable story of miserable things. Hey Dude 77 for 2 says, wasn't she a traitor that had been in prison? It's not a good story. It's a miserable story. I don't know what to tell you. J. Alfred Proofer. Said, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, you know, everybody's is on my ass because I call Chelsea Manning a she. Here's the thing. I don't care about what gender he or she goes by. To me, it's the person, right? It's what their actions.
No, that's cool. I'm of a similar stance. There are bigger problems.
I don't call Blair, like I don't call Blair White a he just because Blair White was born a male. Like, I don't care about that. It's whatever. It's not interesting to me. It's not.
I always leave that call up to people. You'll see.
They can do what they like. Yeah, like I won't stop them from calling Chelsea Manning a he or using his, you know, his original name Bradley, which is what it is. And I get really mad when people say, "Oh, you can't say the word Bradley Manning because that's a dead name." No, fuck off.
Fucking dead. Like, all right, like shit like that. I find it annoying when people get freaked out on both sides. For every person who gets freaked out and quote unquote triggered on this side because you called her a him, you called her a him, you'll find just as many over on the other side that are like, you called him a her. Like,
exactly.
It's irritating as shit. I can't.
We can all agree that when someone says that they're a woman but they still have their beard. No,
says that. We'll call it him. Yeah, that
everyone's kind of like, okay.
No, I feel you. There's just bigger problems with this person than what they want to be called.
Exactly. There you go. And the bigger problem with Chelsea Manning is that she was a traitor, right? She's a traitor. No denying that. You can't sugarcoat it and call her a whistleblower because she did more than just whistleblow. And on top of that, she's I don't want to speak ill of someone who just tried to kill themselves, but a bit of a, not a good friend to people. Like the Night for Freedom, right? That was a thing that Mike Cernovich had hosted. She knew what it was going to be. She was talking to him in DMs. She's friends with all these people. I'm telling you right now, she's friends with these people because, hey, I'm friends with those people. We know each other, right? So she knew what the event was going to be, and yet she acted like it was going to be some neo-Nazi thing. Went there, protested as an Antifa thing so that she could court the Antifa crowd to get them on her side, build her popularity, build her brand. I don't know if she did this on her own or if somebody said it would be a good idea to do this. It'd be good for your image as a future congressperson. Yeah.
Non-voting NEETs. Great.
Yeah, great, right? And so that I don't forgive her for. That's horrible. Treat her friends like that. People in private, people like, Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Cassandra Fairbanks, they were nothing but nice to her. And yet she told the press that it was some neo-Nazi thing. Like, okay, that's not a nice thing to do. Awful. Like, she, if anything, could have bridged the divide. She could have said, well, they're not as bad as you think they are. In fact, they're pretty good people.
Get a chance.
Yeah. J. Alfred Proofrock for 5 threw up something else. Says, if Chelsea is easily manipulated into doing what others want, would it stand to reason maybe Bradley Manning didn't leak information without coaxing?
Without influence.
That seems like one that's best suited for you there, Barry. What do you think of that?
Without influence, but nothing direct. Nothing was found.
Okay.
But she was influenced by the culture and...
It seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, WikiLeaks was a very sexy thing for about 15 minutes.
Yes, so, but there was no direct connection. Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Wicked threw down 5 to say, and a second gift for the happy days. J. Alfred Proofrock threw it down 5 again. Chelsea didn't leak anything. Bradley did. He is dead now. That's the crazy thing about dead. Bradley would have some claim to fame. See, now there's a new way to think about it. Okay,
that's some spin. I like that one.
That's a different way to go at it. I've not heard that take. That's a different take. I don't hate that.
It's an interesting take. I like it.
If I happened to be Chelsea Manning, that would be what I went with.
I've seen his picture, so it is.
Yeah, there's some dead guy that did that. It wasn't me. Start singing that Shaggy song. It wasn't me. J. Alfred Proofrock for 10. Damn, he's throwing down. Bradley leaked videos of an Apache killing journalist. There are policies in place that allow for immediate declassification of illegal activity. He didn't try to use any of them. Jump to leaking.
Good point. Good point. Yes.
Right.
Okay, this motherfucker knows what they're talking about. Is it like if I'm going to talk? This person knows more about this shit than I do.
They know what they're talking about, and yeah, he should have gone to his superior officers and said, "Hey, this I think is a crime."
Yeah, seems like there were a million different better things to do than people out in the field who could have their safety compromised. Was anybody?
No, it was a bad decision.
Hanging as a result of this. Like, did anybody get got for real?
We don't know. I mean, that's the thing.
You don't want to declassify that either. Like, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, see this,
but I'm sure they got their burn notice. They all got their burn notice when that happened. All the names.
Oh, no shit.
Right. Yeah.
All the informants in Afghanistan, Iraq, parts of Africa, parts of Asia. They all got their burn notice. Great. Good job, Chelsea.
Yeah, basically run for your life. That was it. Just one day, run for your life. Because they can't give you material support to help you at that point in time. It's just run for your life. Today's the day.
They give you a little letter or a telegraph, whatever, you know. That's it. Yeah. Get out. You're compromised. Get out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks to this Jay Alfred, who's throwing out a lot of very good points to something I don't know very much about. I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
New sponsor is Ice Cube Canadian. Enjoy your emojis. The Bone Zone for 2 says, "This is Kyler. Good to see you back. Good to see you, Kyler, under the Bone Zone name. I don't want to click that. That sounds like a penis enthusiast. So I'm gonna not risk it."
What are you talking about? You got something against bones? Come on.
Exactly.
Bone Zone. Yeah, maybe he's what do you call like a bone scientist, like the one on bones?
A bone scientist? What the fuck is that?
An something, right? Something to do with bones, like a criminal pathologist.
An ostrich? Are you gonna go an ostrich?
I'll have to look that up.
Hexagonal Lamb 2 for 5.
An osteologist.
Osteologist. Yep. I like ostrich better. Hexagonal Lamb for 5 says, "Glad to see you're still around. Make sure Disky keeps his wrench." I've heard we should throw that on him. Make sure he doesn't get that shit taken. Ruxio for 5 says, "Welcome back, Tonka. I appreciate it." Is Google Skynet for 2 says, "Welcome back, brother. Nothing can keep you down. I appreciate it." Brian Reck for 5 says, "You can have empathy from a person's situation, but have no sympathy for them due to their behavior." I agree.
Yes.
That's kind of how I am. Like I get stats are not in the Manning favor as far as battling, doing the suicidal thing. But again, I really think these were the bad leaks. I couldn't remember if it was Snowden or Manning that did the really fucking
My money, it's Manning.
No, it was Manning. I remember both cases. I get the names mixed up when I talk about it. They happened like at the same time. This is when WikiLeaks was just the coolest thing in the world, and everybody
take down governments,
Yeah, everybody was all over WikiLeaks.
Well, it took down Hillary's campaign, so it worked.
WikiLeaks made a good one. Interesting. I remember that, and that was when I was like, WikiLeaks has a lot of power right now.
Yeah.
It's just how it was fucked up.
So random thought, if I were an osteologist, I would go on the internet and my name would be Mr. Skeletal. Yeah.
Mr. Skeletal.
Mr. Skeletal.
You need to be an ostrich, man. Somebody needs to make you an ostrich.